Welcome back to the channel, and today we are diving into one of the biggest questions hanging over Hollywood right now. Is Indiana Jones 6 actually happening? Because for decades, this franchise has defined what adventure cinema even means. From raiders of ancient temples to Nazi hunts across 3 continents, and after Harrison Ford officially hung up his fedora with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in 2023, fans everywhere have been asking the same burning question. Is this really the end? Or could Lucasfilm and Disney bring back the world's most famous archaeologist for one more incredible adventure? So today we are breaking down absolutely everything. The official statements, the fan theories, the potential spin-off possibilities, the biggest character candidates who could carry this franchise forward, and why, despite everything, there is genuine hope that Indiana Jones is far from finished. But before we dive in, I want to be completely upfront with you. Indiana Jones 6 has not been officially confirmed by Disney or Lucasfilm as of right now. Both Harrison Ford and Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy have publicly stated that Dial of Destiny was intended to be the final chapter. However, there is enough smoke around this franchise that we cannot ignore the possibilities, and the door is far from completely closed. So let's dive straight in and unpack everything. First, let's talk about the massive legacy that we are dealing with here. Because Indiana Jones is not just a movie franchise, it is one of the single most influential adventure film series in the entire history of cinema. Beginning in 1981 with Raiders of the Lost Ark, followed by Temple of Doom in 1984, The Last Crusade in 1989, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in 2008, and finally Dial of Destiny in 2023, spanning over 40 years and generating billions of dollars in global box office revenue, and creating one of the most iconic characters ever put on screen, the whip-cracking, fedora-wearing archaeology professor who became the template for every adventure hero that followed. From Nathan Drake to Lara Croft to Nathan Rhodes, all of them descended directly from what Steven Spielberg and George Lucas created together in that first magical film. Now here is what Harrison Ford himself has actually said, because his words really do matter in this conversation. And back in 2023, he told Total Film magazine directly, quote, "This is the final film in the series, and this is the last time I'll play the character. I anticipate that it will be the last time that he appears in a film." And Ford has always been very clear that he wanted to end Indiana Jones his way, on his terms, with what he called a bang rather than a whimper. And he sincerely believes that Dial of Destiny gave him the ending he needed as an actor and gave the character the emotional closure he deserved after 4 decades. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy backed this up completely, telling Entertainment Weekly, quote, "It's Harrison's last entry. That's how we look at the Indy franchise. We're not doing anything to replace Indiana Jones. Harrison is so specific and so unique to creating this role, we just wouldn't do that." And even director James Mangold, when directly asked if he would ever consider handing the franchise off to Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw character, gave one of the most brutal, honest answers you will ever hear from a director, saying, quote, "I'm not interested. I refuse. I just can't do it. The amount of lore and Easter eggs and fan service starts to become antithetical to any of this stuff. At a certain point, it isn't storytelling anymore. It's large-scale advertising." And honestly, respect to Mangold for being that transparent about his creative philosophy. But here is where the speculation gets genuinely exciting. Because despite all of those official statements, Kathleen Kennedy did leave the door slightly cracked open, telling Variety that, quote, "If we were to do anything, it might be in series television down the road." Meaning while a direct Indiana Jones 6 theatrical film may not be in the immediate cards, a Disney Plus streaming series absolutely could be, following in the footsteps of successful spin-offs like The Mandalorian, Andor, and Ahsoka within the Star Wars universe. And if any studio has the resources and the technical capability to keep this franchise alive on streaming, it is absolutely Disney. Now let's talk about who could actually lead an Indiana Jones 6 or spin-off project if it ever happens. Because there are some genuinely fascinating candidates. The most obvious choice is Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who joined the franchise in Dial of Destiny as Helena Shaw, Indy's goddaughter and daughter of his old friend Basil Shaw. And while director James Mangold has publicly rejected the idea, Waller-Bridge is a massive Emmy-winning talent whose Fleabag and Killing Eve credentials make her one of the most exciting actors of her generation. And her charismatic performance in Dial of Destiny left plenty of room for the character to embark on her own adventures, hunting artifacts across the world with the same wit and moral flexibility that made her performance so memorable. Another possibility that fans are speculating about is the return of iconic villains through the multiverse of ancient artifacts that this franchise has always thrived on. Remember, death has never been permanent in Indiana Jones stories. Magical objects have brought characters back before, and there is genuine speculation about whether Mads Mikkelsen's Nazi-turned-NASA scientist Waller could return in some form, or whether Cate Blanchett's terrifying Irina Spalko from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull could somehow re-emerge through the paranormal storytelling this franchise loves to explore. There is also the very interesting possibility of a prequel series using modern de-aging technology, exploring Indiana Jones's early adventures in his 20s and 30s, perhaps during the 1920s or early 1930s, before the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark, giving audiences a fresh look at how the young Henry Jones Jr. became the legendary archaeologist we all know and love. And this is exactly the kind of storytelling that would fit perfectly on Disney+, following characters like young Indy's mentors, rivals, and love interests before he became the whip-cracking hero of the original films. Now let's talk about why this actually matters. Because the Indiana Jones franchise sits at a genuinely interesting cultural crossroads right now. Dial of Destiny reportedly cost over $400 million to make when you factor in production and marketing costs. And while it grossed just under $400 million globally, it was considered a significant financial disappointment for Disney, which honestly may have cooled their appetite for another major theatrical outing in this world for the immediate future. And that financial reality is probably the single biggest reason why an Indiana Jones 6 has not been officially greenlit, despite the demand being there. However, all 4 original Indiana Jones films returned to Disney+, streaming on January 1st, 2026, and the reception has been overwhelmingly positive, with a new generation of viewers discovering these films for the first time and longtime fans revisiting them, which is exactly the kind of engagement data that Disney executives pay attention to when they are making decisions about the future of a franchise. And if streaming numbers continue trending upward through 2026, it becomes significantly more likely that Lucasfilm greenlights either a Helena Shaw-led theatrical film, a young Indiana Jones streaming series, or an entirely new story set within this iconic world. So what does all of this mean? It means Indiana Jones is not dead as a franchise, even though Harrison Ford has definitively retired from the role, and the moment Lucasfilm or Disney announce any new project set in this incredible world,